Looks like we're live. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. Live in the On Purpose. Oh, I almost said the other thing. We're live today in the On Purpose Woman magazine page on Facebook. I'm Ginny Robertson, one of the hosts of the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. I'm also the founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and the founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here today with Serina McEntire, who is an educator, a researcher, an exercise physiologist, a coach, a makeup artist, and she tells me that she is also the knower of many random things. I can really relate to that, Serina. I have so much stuff swirling around in my head all the time. But thanks for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you tried to catch us well, it was just last week, wasn't it? We tried to do this and there were some changes. And so we're really glad to be here with you today in this new place. I'll be talking with Serina about how wellness is a journey, not a race. But Serina, before we dive into our topic, I want to tell our viewers a little bit more about you. Serina McEntire has over 20 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. She holds a doctorate in clinical science. Her expertise includes preventative medicine, nutrition, and the physiological responses to exercise. Serina is an educator at the Keswick Wise and Well Center for Healthy Living in Baltimore, where she provides older adults with education and resources to live and age well within their communities. Serina is also a certified makeup artist and is passionate about helping women feel their best on both the inside and the outside. She's a recent transplant to Maryland, along with her husband, stepdaughters, dogs, and a bunny rabbit. So you brought everybody with you when you came to Maryland, huh?
Yes, we did. We travel in a pack.
I see that. Yeah. We have little bunnies in our backyard, but they're not ours. They're nature's. So, but they're so much fun to just watch, and they kind of zen you out, don't they?
Oh, I can't say that our rabbit's very zen. He's pretty much a troublemaker. He's eaten our window seals and computer cords, but he's so unbelievably cute. And that's what saves him.
Oh, he gets by with so much because he's so adorable. Okay. Well, Serina, you have such vast expertise, and there's so much we could talk about today. But let's start with what inspired you to focus your career on wellness.
So the interesting thing is I thought I was going to be a journalist. I was dead set going into college that I wanted to be a TV news reporter. And I found out that getting there is pretty boring. I needed to be moving and being active. And I found my way to the exercise physiology program at Kansas State. And from there, just learning the science and learning really about what you can do and how movement and everything just affects everything from, our physical appearance to our physical performance and then our mental health. Just really is the thing that really stuck with me. And here I am.
Here you are. It was a good thing they had that program, isn't it? That you could make a different choice.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I'm so glad. I'm sure my parents are too.
Well, let's start with this too. How do you define wellness?
So I think there's so many different definitions of wellness. For me, it's really about making a conscious effort, like being very active in determining, and making a plan for what I specifically need, whether that means that I need work in mental health or emotional health, physical health, or especially we're here in the middle of this pandemic, for a lot of us, socialization has been the thing that we are missing. So identifying, where your strengths are right here in this moment, and then focusing then in an active way on trying to do things to boost those other areas of our life. Because just like your body prefers to be in motion, so do all of these aspects of our overall health. They're a yin and a yang to each other. And so, they're never really going to be all in balance at the same time. We'd love for that to happen, right? But really, usually one we can slide to the back burner, and one we've got to be actively working on to keep ourselves feeling whole. And to me, that's really what wellness is about, is just paying attention to what you need now in coming up with a plan to boost that area of your life.
So I love that you say it's about being whole, because it really is wholeness. It's not just health. That's why
Absolutely.
I love wellness. I love the word wellness so much more too, because it's not just that, well, you want to weigh a certain amount, or you want to only eat this, or, all that stuff that we've all been taught a million different ways to do that. And, as they say out there, the experts say, if those things worked, we wouldn't still be looking for them. So I love, you sent me a few notes before this, and I love the way that you approach this, because I think you're a bit different than the traditional kind of wellness people or exercise people or health people. And you think self-care plays a big part in wellness. Can you say about something about self-care? And you also say that it changes over time. So what does that mean for us?
I think the two biggest buzzwords of this pandemic have been self-care and pivot. And to be honest, I don't like either of those words. Because I feel like self-care is really wellness. And if we think of and switch that terminology from self-care to wellness, it makes us stop and think. Because unfortunately, there's so much buzz about self-care, that sometimes the idea of like what's good self-care kind of gets tossed out the window. You'll see the memes out there, or you might joke with your friends, because I've done it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm taking a self-care night and I drank a bottle of wine. Well, maybe if we took at it as like, this is my wellness night, I might have one glass of wine and one TV show, and then I might go for a walk. And overall, that's meeting us a better measure of our overall self-care. There's that, I guess it's kind of a cliched statement, but you can't pour from an empty cup. And I think as women, we forget that so often. So if we're really focusing on that idea of like being resilient and really focusing on what do I need right now, that plays a big role. And so your wellness or your self-care, however you want to, it's going to change in any given moment. One night you might need that glass of wine, you might need an extra one, right? Just because life has been stressful. But in that next moment, it might be a good book and a bubble bath. It might be focusing on nutrition and just adding a vegetable. Because right now, how easy is it to kind of let food oftentimes slip to the background? And so, we're living in a consumer-based society, so it's a whole lot easier to hit the drive-through or Uber Eats rather than maybe, focusing in and thinking about nutrition. But it's going to change every single day as to what you need, and what you need and what I need will be very, very different from each other. Just because we're in different places of our lives. If we're talking to you, you're dealing with homeschooling. Parents that are at home doing homeschooling, need a little bit of extra set of wellness.
Yes, really.
That's so tough. So, that's so much about it is just identifying either in the stage you're in or in a given moment, what do I feel is lacking? And then do something. It doesn't have to be a monumental act. You don't need to decide tomorrow you're going to run a marathon. It might literally be, I'm just going to go walk for 10 minutes. Or it might be, tonight we're having 2 vegetables for dinner. Or tonight I'm going to go to bed 20 minutes earlier. So it's really just, creating a pathway to doing something good for you, either on a daily basis or on a regular basis.
So it's really about being intuitive about and asking, what does my body need? What do I need right in this moment?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's a hard thing for women to do is we don't often feel like we can make ourselves a priority. But if we don't make ourselves a priority, nobody else is going to do it for us. But then we're not going to be able to do all the things that make us Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah. So in preparing for this, you sent me some really inspiring ideas and tips for bringing more wellness into our lives. I want to ask you about some of those. Sure. First, you say that we need to know our why. What do you mean by that?
So One of the things that, especially when we go into deciding to make life changes, whether that's, changing jobs or, really focusing on wellness, whatever it might be, is if your why is big enough, you cannot fail, because that why is going to be the driving purpose there. So much of it is really like looking at what is the real outcome. Do I want to be able to be here for my kids while they're small? Or am I wanting to run around with my grandkids? Or do I know my blood sugar is probably not at a very healthy level? And I know that that's a key to longevity. Like, what is that why? Because if our reason is a small reason or a transient type reason, like, hey, I want to look good for my class reunion. Like, that's a great small goal, but what's the real why? Like, what's going to drive you to actually achieve that? Or what happens when you achieve it? It's done, it's over. So if that why isn't big enough to something that is really going to be there to drive you towards it and to have you keep going, unfortunately, oftentimes we don't do well with reaching those goals.
Okay. I really like that, because I know for years, I've been like this with weight, with just taking care of myself. And for the earlier part of my adult life, it was all about, fitting into that dress or all those other superficial kind of things. And you're right. Once you get in that dress, then it's not much fun to maintain it, because you don't know the real reason why you're doing it. And what has been coming up for me, I guess, a lot over the last so many years, is that it's this idea of being vitality, of having, I've got lots of stuff to do still. And I want to be able to do it and be able to show up and be present and be of my, healthy mind, body, and spirit. So that's much more exciting to me than, oh, I want to look good at my, 50th class reunion, right?
That's a real why.
Yeah, it really is.
Right there.
And when somebody's hit their real why, I think, because you see, I just changed and got more excited just talking about it. So
flows from people. Yeah, at that point. And it's the same thing whether you were deciding to start a new business, whatever it might be. What is the real reason? When I work with clients, I also don't like them to set those. I don't really allow clients to set those types of goals of, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, or, oh, I want to do this, because it's that reason of, well, what happens when you get there? Yeah. Or what happens if you don't get there, right? That's hard. And that's a hard mental piece to have to, really internalize, rather than, I'm here to be vital. So I'm going to start walking more. I'm going to start eating more. I'm going to start reading more, like those types of things. That's a real why that we can focus on and drive towards.
Yeah, I agree. So what about some of the things that get in our way of a healthier life? How can we navigate some of those? One of the things you mentioned I thought was interesting is you mentioned comparison is something that gets in our way.
Oh my goodness. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. And right now we are in such a highlight reel society, right? You get on Facebook, you get on any social media, even if you drive down your street, right? Everybody's showing their highlight reel. Everybody's showing, the best things that are going on in their lives, but it's not real. And if we get stuck in that thing that, Sharon down the street is the fit mom and she's always out there and everything, and her kids are perfect and her husband's perfect and she drives, the perfect car. Why don't I have that? Well, you don't actually know what's going on behind our closed doors, right? But do you really want that? Or do you want to be you? Do you want to show who you are with all your flaws and your quirks and all that? Those are the people that actually inspire us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Those are the things like, I like to tell clients too, that idea of like, show who you really are. Show your kids screaming in the grocery store. It happens to everybody, right? Show your messy house, like I have a skincare and makeup business, and I will every so often with my clients like, okay, so guys, here's the perfect selfie, and I'm going to show you the 52 weird faced ones. So you understand that, yeah, this took me 10 minutes to get this one perfect picture. The rest of these is real life, you know. Yeah. But those are the people that inspire you. It's those people that show you who they really are. Because it also makes us feel like we can achieve similar things. Success is hard, whether we're talking business success, wellness success, whatever it is. And, you know, we like to think it's this line that goes like this, but it's really like all over the place as is our way to get it. So when you are yourself and you really, you know, show who you are, I can guarantee you're inspiring someone else.
Mm-hmm. And yourself. Yeah. It's a lot more fun too, isn't it?
It's so hard to be perfect. Why would anybody want to?
And of course, we all know that we never reach it. It's an unattainable whatever. And again, define perfect, right?
Exactly.
So, but a lot of us have grown up with, I always tell people I'm a recovering perfectionist because, you know, I grew up in a household where a lot of things were expected of me, and in behavior wise and appearance wise, and how I comported myself out in the world, you know. And it's challenging sometimes to let loose of some of those things. But you also talk about we need to set realistic goals, and tomorrow never comes. What do you mean by that?
So I love this idea, and I talk a lot about this with tomorrow never comes, because we all do this. Now, Garth Brooks does it best, right? He actually has a song that's titled If Tomorrow Never Comes. And I'm not going to sing it for you. Don't worry. That would be like killing cats. But if tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I love her? And of course, he's actually talking about his relationship with his daughter. Okay. So the song kind of goes out about, you know, will she know how much I love her? You know, will she know how much I loved her mother and the other people that were in my life? And within the song, there's the promise that he's going to spend every single day showing her how much he loves her. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like one of the best messages that we as women can internalize, because not only does it just play into wellness, but just the idea of who and what are we putting our effort and our passion and, you know, our good thoughts and words towards every day, right? If you think about like tomorrow never comes, have you ever said, I'm going to start to exercise on Monday?
Oh.
I'm going to wear the bikini at the beach when I lose 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. Nobody's looking at you on the beach, right? Wear the thing, rock it. Get out there, run around with your kids, right? So we set ourselves up for failure by saying, well, I'm going to do this when I reach this. But one of the biggest things we know is the most successful people in anything are people that do something every single day towards their goal. As I said, they're not running a marathon every day. They're not going out and training 18 miles. They're getting up 10 minutes early to read a devotional or write in their journal or making the effort after dinner to go for a walk, you know, planning their meals, doing something every day that gets them closer to that why, closer to that end goal. So if we have that mentality of, well, tomorrow may not come. So what am I going to do today to work towards that goal, to make myself better? But where I like to take this even further is, what if we took that idea of if tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I loved her? And replace that with, will my body know how much I loved her?
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah. Because we beat ourselves up. We tear our bodies up. And, you know, like, especially as women, your bodies have taken you this far in life. They may have birthed children. Lord knows that's hard, right? They have brought you here. And if we build our body up and we show it how much we love it by good food, good thoughts, good movement, we're going to get closer to that goal every day. But even more, we're going to be a good role model for those that are around us. Because, you know, if you've got kids or grandkids, especially daughters, they're watching you even when you don't realize that you're watching. So if you're using negative talk, they're picking it up. If, you're not modeling healthy behaviors, they're learning those types of things. So, if we look at it and like, tomorrow, my body's going to know today, tomorrow, and the next day that I'm going to do something good for it.
Wow, that's really lovely. I like that a lot. I also like this one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I like this one. Another tip you told me about. Choose goals that celebrate your ability, not your appearance. That's really big.
It's huge. And that's part of how, we really set realistic goals. Because same thing, like if you set that goal that you're going to lose 20 pounds or you're going to get back into size 2 jeans, whatever it is, that is a goal that's solely focused on your outwardly appearance, and then it goes back to, if you don't meet it, well, then you feel really bad about yourself, or you do meet it and you're like, oh, heck, what do I do now? Or if you don't maintain it, guess what? Then all of a sudden they're too tight again. And once again, we get back into this spiral of feeling bad about ourselves. But if we set goals that really are about performance, it makes a much bigger difference. So, I'm going to be able to walk a mile if you can't do it. Or I'm going to focus on, setting a goal to have clients that set things like, I'm going to do 1 pull-up. You know how hard it is to do 1 pull-up? But do you know how tough and powerful you feel when you get to that, Or the idea just of, I'm going to lower my A1C. I'm going to get my blood sugar better under control. All of those are long-term goals that we can continue to meet and then build on and meet and build on. So they become real buildable goals that you feel strong, you feel powerful, and you feel very successful. Because the fun part is like, when we focus on these inwardly kind of performance type things, the outwardly follows with it. It's a consequence of doing all those good things for your body. And then you're able to maintain those successes, which ultimately just makes us stronger.
Yeah, I so agree with that. And also, if we're just looking at the scale, when we don't see improvement, then we tend to, I say we, I know I would tend to backslide. Well, God, it's not working. Somebody's will go eat that, whatever. But it's all about how we're feeling and how what we're aspiring to be, not look like.
Exactly. And the scale, toss that thing out. I'm a mean personal trainer. I take my clients' scales away. I'm going to tell you that right here and right now. They get a weigh in when I weigh them in on my scale. For that exact reason of, we get so stuck on that number. There's a cartoon that was in the New Yorker many, many years ago. And it's 2 little kids leaning over a bathroom scale. And one's like, don't touch this. And the other one's like, why? And it's like, it'll make you cry.
Oh.
Like, we're teaching people that, which is so true, right? But here's the thing is, like, for a lot of people, the number on the scale may go up for a while before it goes down. And that's actually a good thing, because chances are we're building muscle and replacing fat. The other thing is that depending on how you're going about weight loss, that scale number may not actually change, because we're just changing the composition of our body. So we're getting more lean muscle mass that is going to make us look smaller. It's going to make us look more compact, and it's going to make us, our outwardly appearance look better, but it may not change the actual weight on the scale, the number of the scale, or that scale may not change that much. And people sometimes expect like these large changes and these large numbers, but for a lot of people, something like a 10-pound change will lower their blood pressure by up to 10 millimeters of mercury, which that's about the equivalent of 1 blood pressure medicine.
Wow.
Or if it gets your blood sugar under control and you can lower the amount of insulin that you are taking, that's a real outcome that scale has absolutely nothing to do with. So you are not a number, that is such a big piece of this. You are a person, and you are focusing on your wellness, you're not a number. None of us wants to be a number.
No. And we give that scale a lot of power, don't we? And we really don't even know. I remember years ago, I would be really vigilant about my weight, and I would think I weighed this, and I'd go to my doctor for a checkup, and I would weigh 5 pounds more on their scale. And it's like, oh God, that's because they didn't let me take off all my clothes, or, but it mattered so much, which is just,
exactly.
I think all that's shifting. I think thanks to people like you who are out there teaching women how to do it differently, and that it is a matter of personal choice, and it can bring us personal power. The more that I sort of say exercise, the more that we exercise that option, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just so much about it that, we give other people the power over us. We give, inanimate objects the power over us. And that is one of the biggest mental switches that often has to occur in our wellness journey, is that idea that I'm the one that has the power. I remember my grandmother saying to me once when I was in college, I don't know, something had happened, and I'd come to her and I was just distraught. And my grandmother was very no nonsense. And she just looked at me and she's like, someone else's opinion is absolutely none of your business. And at that time I was like, well, that's not helpful, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But now as an adult, that is such a huge perspective change. How do I feel about myself? They're not paying my bills, so who cares what I'm doing? I don't need to pay attention to them. How they feel about me is really none of my business. It's about how I feel about myself. Mm-hmm. What am I doing to make me better?
And the more we can be in touch with that, the more inspiring we will be to others and to ourselves, and to keep it moving. Because all these things you're talking about are things that will keep us doing something, instead of, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect place, the perfect time. Well, if I just had that, or it must be nice because they can afford a gym, all that kind of stuff that we come up with as just
it's really so easy to make excuses.
Yeah, because we don't know our big why yet.
Right. Once we know that, there is no excuse for us, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're going to do something every single day. And as I said, it doesn't have to be huge. Some days you might get a hardcore workout in. Some days you might eat a fruit and go to bed early. Mm-hmm. And all of those things, though, get you one day closer to that why.
Yeah, that's really, and it's almost like a game. I like to play games with myself when I'm doing things like that. That's why I love pedometers, because I've been known to walk around my dining room table at 5 minutes before midnight, trying to get those steps in. I haven't been as vigilant about that as I like, but I like games I play with myself to better my last or whatever. And so I think that could be a pretty cool game to play about, how many of those things did I do today? Not what things did I do, but how many different steps did I take today? And have it be fun. Because if it's not
what did you do today?
Yeah. I'll just.
And I mean, you actually have a perfect point, because, oftentimes when you're working with a client, they'll be like, well, this workout doesn't seem so hard, or I thought I was going to have to run. And I'm like, well, do you like to run? And they're like, no, I hate to run. And I was like, so why would I give you running? Because you're not going to do it. You are absolutely right. Find the things that you enjoy and do more of them. I mean, obviously don't drink two bottles of wine, right? We got to talk about moderation and those kinds of things, but do more of them. If you like to walk, if you like to dance, turn the music up and dance all over your house. If you enjoy knitting and you're not doing it, do more of it. Those are all the things that will get you into that good headspace, get your body moving. But oftentimes I think people think of wellness and exercise as a chore, because they're feeding into this idea that I have to do X, or I have to do what someone else is doing. Well, if you don't like doing it, you're not going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
And this should be fun. I mean, taking care of your body and achieving these goals and having this long, happy life is about finding the things that you really enjoy. I like to run. Also, I'm not very coordinated. So running works really, really good for me because it's just one foot in front of the other. So it's really about like going in and finding out what it is and trying new things. I think as women, we often get so afraid to try new things. I can tell you this from years of running gyms, working in gyms, working out in gyms. Nobody's looking at you. Throw that aside. Go back to my grandma and that idea of no one's opinion is your business. Get in there, hit that heavy bag, punch that stuff, like kick it, get in there, try the Zumba, try this class, see what you love. Everybody's focused on their own thing and their own worry. So you should have no feels about feeling silly or like not being good enough or anything like that. We're all focused on, what's going on within ourselves. We're not necessarily worried about you. So go be you. Go try it. And get in there and learn something new.
Yeah. And don't wait till you lose 10 pounds so you'll look better at the gym, right? It's like kind of cleaning your house before the person comes to clean it, right?
Exactly.
And it never happens, does it? Oh, as soon as I look a little better in I remember, I'm of an age that I remember the early 70s of going to what were they called? Holiday Spa, I think they were called. They were all over the country. And we wore those little leotards with those little
Jane Fonda thing.
The whole Jane Fonda thing. I didn't do a sweatband, but those leotards and those little tights, they didn't hide much. They were and so I could see why women would be I was self-conscious about, I don't want to put that on, but why couldn't I have worn a baggy pair of sweats and a t-shirt?
Right.
It stood out. That wasn't the uniform, because those things, I think those places were a bit different back then than they are now too. One thing you said to me that just made me laugh out loud is, it's a journey of 1 billion steps and many of them will be backwards. Say more about that.
So that is so how it is. When I was like, we think it's going this way, but in the reality, it's all over the place. But you're going to go backwards. And that's okay. It's actually a really, really good thing. You're going to be trucking along and feeling so powerful and so motivated. And then something's going to happen. And I think most of us think it's going to be something big that's going to happen. It's going to set us back. But it's honestly going to be like, you get a clogged toilet. It's going to be something so mundane and you're going to miss a workout and you're going to be in a funk. And the next thing you know, you don't do it again. Or you eat out once and then you're like, ooh, that Applebee's is good. So now I'm going to get, something else. And then we get ourselves out of that habit. And so we get those backward steps. And then we can use that as positive motivation to say, okay, stop. We're now moving backwards. It's time for forward pace again. What do I really want to do here? What am I going to change today? It's all about today, you're going to be coming forwards and backwards. Life happens. And let's be real, I don't know anybody who's got a simple life, right?
Right.
I mean, no matter who you are and what you got going on, nothing is simple. So it's that idea that it's okay. Use those backward steps as your motivation, as your, okay, well, I kind of deterred from my why. Now today I'm going to do this. And what is my plan? I'm a huge plan of action kind of girl. This is my planner. You notice it has Wonder Woman.
I love it.
Write in your workouts, schedule them in there, schedule a haircut and color, schedule in those things that you put on the back burner that are going to help you towards your overall why. Schedule them. It's hard, especially if you're like me and I'm like a type A planner, love to check it off my list. If I don't complete it, it makes it harder for me to be like, oh, well, never mind. I feel tired. I'm home. I'll work out tomorrow. And I'll be like, no, it's on my agenda for today. Schedule it in there as an activity and then, use it as you go. I have an Apple Watch and I set it up for, some base level amounts. And my husband laughs at me, just like you were saying with the pedometer. At 9:45, I get an alert if I haven't gotten to my X number of minutes or something. And I will climb the stairs in our house for those minutes until this thing beeps at me. But it's just about using your motivation. You're going to go forward, then you're going to go back. You're going to go forward and you're going to go back. It is a continuous journey. You're going to have crests. You're going to have valleys. You're going to have days that you just flat out don't want to do it. Do something that you do want to do on those days.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be as big as you might have planned. You know, it could be that you had a fabulous meal planned for the day. Well, tonight is grilled cheese and homemade soup, right? That's okay, because we're still doing things that move us towards those goals. If you had planned for some, you know, high intensity exercise class and that's just not feeling it for today, take the dog for a long walk. Just know that as you move back, that's not carte blanche to go up. That's that moment of saying, okay, now is the time to reevaluate and let's figure out how we move forward again. And we are going to start today, not Monday, not tomorrow, right? Because if tomorrow never comes, is our body going to know how much we love it? So it's really about using those types of setbacks as motivation.
Yeah. What was that? You triggered something I wanted to say. Again, what was it? Oh, do you find that especially women, if we don't schedule it in, it's usually, well, when I have time, or I'll do it at the end of the day, and that never comes because we don't often always put ourselves first, as we talked about early on here. And so it has to go somewhere.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I like it, putting it in your schedule, like sit down for the week and be like, okay, well, I know on Wednesday I have a break between 1 and 2. This is going to be my time to do X. Mm-hmm. And if that 1 to 2 rolls around and say something gets crammed into it, I'm not giving up on that time point. I might have to shut it down and condense it a little bit, but I'm not giving up that time point. We as women often let ourselves become the last priority. Mm-hmm. And put everything else in front. But if you don't have anything left at the end of the day for yourself, you can't be your best version tomorrow or for everybody else in your life. So making yourself that priority, it is not selfish. And I want to say this, like from the loudest and tallest building here in Baltimore, it is not selfish to put yourself first, to make your wellness, your need to be whole, a priority. No is not a bad word. Sometimes yes is the worst word that we can say, is because we say yes when it's too much. We say yes when we don't want to do it. It is okay to say no. If it's not filling you, if it's not fitting you, if it's not the house is burning down, it's okay to say no, to make time for you and to put your wellness needs at the forefront.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying here through all of this conversation, which is so great, is that we also need to be, well, need to know our why. We need to do things that we like to do and that we will do. Because I did hear this joke one time, what's the best exercise out there? The one you'll do.
Absolutely.
And so we need to do that. And we also need to be gentle with ourselves.
I think even more than being gentle with ourselves, we need to sing our praises. Because that is a huge part of meeting your goals. I always like to say, put your goals out there publicly, whether that's just telling your family, putting it on social media, calling up your BFF, whomever that might be, and saying, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to get to. And then along the way, sing every little praise. Because that's our motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the best motivation we can have, that internal drive. But having someone here to say, hey, I haven't seen on Facebook that you've been out walking, or you said this, but how's that going? But sing those praises, and don't wait till they're big. we like to do that, right? As women, we like to wait till we've conquered the mountain to sing our praises. No, sing those praises. Write down like the thing you accomplished that day that works towards your goal. Feel free to go on and, tell your family or your Facebook followers or whatever that, you ate vegetables every night this week, or, you walked or you worked out 5 to 7 days that week. Sing those praises because we follow those people that sing their praises, right? Mm-hmm. We follow them and they motivate us. So if I see you doing it and I see you out there with a big smile on your face because you did a push-up, I'm like, dude, can I do a push-up? Oh my gosh, now I need to try, right? That's the kind of highlight reel society we really need.
It is the real stuff with the sweat and the ratty sweatpants and all, right?
Absolutely. And then the other part of that though is like admit your failures. Mm-hmm. Because that's so much of it. Often we bottle those failures up and we let them kind of eat us alive. Like it is very like strengthening to say, whew, this week really sucked for me. Like I didn't do anything. But guess what? Next week I'm going to do this. And I'm telling you now that last week was bad. So this week, help me out here. Mm-hmm. It's okay to admit our failures, whatever they might be, because our failures can be our biggest motivators, but they also kind of get rid of that highlight reel society out there and let us know that each one of us is human and we need the cheerleaders. We are going to go all over that looped path on our way to meeting our goals. So sing your praises. Don't be afraid of your failures. Mm-hmm.
I heard a story many years ago about 2 women who wanted to work out. They were supporting each other and working out. So they switched gym bags so that if the one woman didn't show up at the gym, the other woman couldn't work out. And I remember thinking at the time, I was in a personal development class, and I remember thinking at the time, wow, that's a really awesome strategy. And then I thought, but it's actually kind of sad because I would show up for you, but not necessarily for me. Exactly. And I think whatever works and gets you into the habit is a good thing. Sometimes accountability partners do, as long as they're people you like and that will treat you, that don't become a drill sergeant with you, right? But I think that often we would show up for that other person so they could work out and we would have an excuse for ourselves.
Yeah. And, it's a good thing to have an accountability partner for those days that your motivation is lacking. Mm-hmm. But as you said, ultimately the motivation has to come from within for me to be ultimately successful. And if we're doing this right, what you were just saying is you'd come dressed and ready to rock and roll, regardless if that person showed up with your gym bag. Right. So that's that combination of that internal and external motivation of, well, I still got my tennis shoes on and I got my favorite leggings on and I'm ready to rock and roll, even if she doesn't show up here with, the rest of my gear. But that is so hard. I run at 5:30 in the mornings with my neighbor across the street. And that I won't lie to you, when I'm getting that text there, her baby's been up all night and it's like 5:15 and she's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. And it's like, I'm like, but I already got my clothes on and I got plenty of street lights at this point. Mm-hmm. You might as well go, because by the time I take all this stuff off and get back into bed, I got like 15 minutes before the alarm goes off again. So it's like, just go do it. I used to joke with clients, like, the hardest part in most people's fitness battles is putting on your shoes and stepping out your front door. Mm. If you can do that, you are well on your way to achieving something. I regularly tell people, like, give me 15 minutes, walk for 15 minutes, go run for 15 minutes, do something for 15 minutes. And after the 15 minutes, if you don't want to do anymore, you can quit. Well, most of the time they've already walked out 15 minutes, so at least got to walk back 15 minutes. Well, guess what? Now you've gotten your 30 minutes of exercise. Mm-hmm. But if you just did 15 minutes of jumping jacks, oh, that's a lot of jumping jacks. But think about, you're still working towards it. You don't have to put in hours and days at the gym to reach your goals.
Yeah. And I think everything you said here today has been so wonderful. Thank you. I feel re-inspired myself because I know for me, not just with wellness, fitness, any of that, for any change I want to make, I can come from this place of I'm going to do it all starting tomorrow. And I will start that morning and I'm going to change. I'm going to eat more of this and less of this. And I'm going to at least do this. I'm going to walk and I'm going to blah, blah. And it'll be like a massive long list. And I'll be halfway through the day and I've done maybe one thing, if that. And then it's just that interesting cycle that just repeats itself. And I've learned as I've aged a little bit more to be way more realistic about that. But it's still this tendency, I'm a bit like you. I want that, I'm a doer, I'm an achiever, I can do it all. And I sometimes put things on my plate that I don't even want to do, like you're talking about. Like, I don't like walking around my neighborhood. I've seen it all. I'm fine, except this time of year, it's lovely. But I find it boring to walk around my neighborhood. That means I'm going to get in a car and drive somewhere to walk. Yeah, if that means I'll walk, right?
Right.
But it's just all these other, I'm kind of rambling here, but I just want to say you've really helped me today with some things. So I want to thank you for that.
I think one of the things you just said, though, is you tell yourself all the things that you're not going to do. Stop that.
Yeah.
The only thing I tell people is like, you're not going to eat a stick of butter all at once. That's the only thing you're not going to do. Okay. Everything else, we don't know if we're not going to do it. And we might need to do it. And so what if you slip up and have a cookie? Well, tomorrow you're going to have 3 bananas, like whatever it might be. Or you're going to have that cookie now, but you're going to walk for an extra 10 minutes. Or you're going to, have 2 vegetables at dinner to balance it. I hate when I hear people be like, I'm not going to do that. Like, don't limit yourself.
Or I can't have that.
Or I can't have that, right? Why can't you? If you want it, have it. But like, let's make other good choices. Because once we start in that mentality, we're already starting to defeat ourselves. So everything in moderation, be nice to yourself, start today, and understand what that why is for you. Those are like the biggest and best things I could tell anybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. So before we wrap up, tell us a little bit about what you do at the Keswick Wise and Well Center and how people can get more information about them.
Absolutely. So here we provide educational programming, resources, coaching for adults in the Baltimore area. Our idea really is to allow people to live well, age well, and be well. So I teach fitness classes here. I teach some evidence-based health education classes. I teach fun things like supermarket smarts about really how to navigate the grocery store. We really have programming for anybody and everybody in terms of what they might be interested in, what their goals are. We do things on the environment, to genealogy, to cooking and fitness, and lots of opportunities for socialization, whether that's virtually or now we're starting to move into some in-person offerings again. We're starting to feel a little normal. Mm-hmm. So having those here, we also offer personal training. We do life coaching, wellness coaching. Really, it's just kind of a one-stop shop for older adults here in the Baltimore area to really have a lot of fun, learn things, and really work towards whatever their piece of the wellness goal is.
And it's amazing. Isn't the membership like $60 a year or something?
Yeah. So it's $60 a year, and that gives you access to all of our programming. We do have a few things that have small fees associated with them, but most of our programming is included in that $60 a year. It's a fun place. It's nice. It's bright. It's beautiful. We have state-of-the-art equipment for personal training, and it's just such a welcoming group of people. Our members are pretty fun and fantastic.
Well, I've been there not for that, but last January we started having our Connections Over Coffee meetings there. We got 2 in before COVID hit, but it is just a wonderful place. And I know you've been doing a lot of stuff online since COVID. Will you continue to do some things online?
We will. Our virtual
program may be out of the area. Yeah.
Yeah, our virtual program is not going away. It's the wave of the future.
Yeah.
And so we will continue to have a significant amount of virtual programming in addition to live programming.
Okay, and what is the website?
It is choosecaswick.org/community health.
Okay, and we'll put that in the post here. So thank you, Serina, so much for sharing such valuable, really can be life-changing information with us today. And I want to thank all of you for joining us for the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show live in the On Purpose One magazine business page on Facebook. For a list of the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show topics, my website, www.opwgc.com, that's onpurposewomanglobalcommunity.com, and then click on magazine. The On Purpose One magazine has all of our upcoming interviews. And if you love this interview and want to share it with your friends, you'll find it on our YouTube channel in the next 48 hours. So go over to the On Purpose Woman Global Community on YouTube. That's the name of our channel, and subscribe and sign up for notifications. There are already probably more than 40 inspiring, informative, and fun shows for you to watch. Next week, Catherine Yarborough, who is my other host, the other host in this talk show, she'll be actually interviewing me, and we'll be talking about be brave and step into the spotlight. And I hope you'll join us for that. That's next Thursday, May 13th at 2 o'clock. I'm Ginny Robertson. Thank you for joining us for the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show.